This is Story for Steven! Hopefully this is the right order, because I'm looking at Wikipedia and then I'm looking at Amazon. Amazon has them, like, 100% backwards. This is really slanted.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, so this is the story of how Steven's dad met Steven's mom, and this manager that seemed...
It's How I Met Your Mother.
Yes.
Only 15
right
minutes.
ending.
Yeah, 15 minutes long without a shitty ending.
I don't even know the ending of the show. I just know everybody hates the ending.
The ending of the show is about... I think I've maybe seen a dozen episodes, because my wife liked it.
I hear it's the biggest fuck you to an
yeah,
audience,
like
apparently.
having not seen the whole show, I still somehow knew that this ending blew. Like, I'm just like, wait a second.
Like, that's not the right...
I had to keep asking my wife questions. I'm just like, so it's been following these two people all along, but... And she's like, yes. I'm like, that makes no sense. And she's like, and you didn't even watch the show.
But anywho, we're talking about this one, and the manager who seemed relatively pointless. I mean, the story's supposed to be about him, and it's how they met, and
He
it's
was
like...
really a douchebag.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he just seems like a totally pointless douchebag character who's barely in it, which I didn't mind because he's so unlikable, but the only thing I can figure is maybe they're going to bring him back for something, or he's going to come back as an enemy, but yeah, just looking at the whole thing, I'm like, you gotta cut him out pretty easily. It's like, well, it's about, I'll tell you this version, but now I'll tell you the version with my manager in it, and it's like, I think you could have told the version without the manager, honestly. I don't think we missed that much. Yeah, so
well, I guess maybe the point is sometimes even idiots and jerks find ways to steer you towards happiness. So.
Yeah. No, there's...
It's possible.
When, the cool stuff about it, I mean, it's nice to see them meet. The two things I see so rarely done well are, is horror, like legitimately scary horror, and romance, like legitimately, hey, I feel something for these two people, romance. So when I see something do it relatively well, and I like it, it does seem like, again, kind of a Disneyism, like he's just ready to throw everything for this woman like he just met. But again, I think that's kind of like just the kids show angle. But I don't know. I would like to see it develop a little bit more. But they had chemistry, which I like. I like it when these two people meet and they have this chemistry. Giving up your whole life for it, that's a different story. But I do like when they have chemistry. So, and we got to see more of the gems clearly before they know anything about people. They call them it. And Amethyst looks like a kid. Looks like a little kid.
I like how they all seemed younger, even though Pearl had kind of a different hairstyle.
She had kind of the 80s hair.
Yeah, Amethyst seemed younger. Yeah, Garnet looked pretty much the same, but looked like maybe she had slightly different hair. I don't know, but...
Well, and I like they're even more... I mean, we always talk about how aggressive they are to anything new. You see even to humans that, squash it, throw it back over the fence, get rid of it, and they're just so hostile against them, which, again, is just so interesting.
I love my favorite little moment was when Rose was just like, space is his, like, gimmick thing. Like, yeah, and Pearl just, they think they know about space.
Well, and even then you sort of see kind of like that jealousy starting to, I can sing, they all kind of laugh. So again, there's already a little bit of that hostility starting between them. Well, hey, isn't that interesting too? Okay, so Amethyst now is, since we see she was a kid around that point, wherever they dug her up, literally, at a younger age. So maybe when Steven's dad and her were hanging out, like, she was still a kid, which would make the connection even more interesting.
Oh, it's her first crush.
Maybe, I don't know. Or even kind of like an almost father figure or something like that. Because, again, we don't know.
I don't know.
Like,
it was kind of hard
really
to tell
is.
Because I have to remind myself how huge Rose is. Like, I'm not really talking about with just her height.
Yeah.
So that when all of them, when all of them were together, like, Amethyst seems so small, but then, I don't know, like, I'd have to look at it.
She's already pretty short, but she's still tall. She's kind of hiding
okay.
behind Pearl. Pearl kind of carries her and stuff
No,
like that.
it definitely,
it's a kid.
Yeah.
I can't get the age. I don't know if it's
But
like...
yeah, I always forget how tall Rose is. Like, when they're all together, I'm like, Jesus.
Well, what I like too, this is the first time we've seen Rose, like, actually, like, hey, we're gonna show you what she said in the scene. It's not like, hey, here's a video cassette, here's a hologram projection or anything like that. It's here's what she was actually saying and doing and stuff, which is kind of nice.
Exactly. I mean, it's not like Steven's dad was telling this, so it was all from his point of view.
Okay, it's still very much, there's no other kind of filter there in terms of like what you're visually seeing or anything like that.
I know what you mean.
Also, was it me or is that opening song like
that was
really kind of
awesome.
nice? That's a nice song.
Yeah, I was just like, I was almost in a strange way hoping this was going to be one long music.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping too. Like the whole thing was just going to be a song.
Like when it went to the straight-laced kind of show part, I'm just like, oh, that's cool and all, but it
would have been cool if it was a song. I mean,
only would have like done the song.
Yeah, no, I mean it's like that's a lot of work. I'm not going to be like, what's wrong with you, lazy? It's like, no, I get it. That's a lot of work. But yeah, I actually really legitimately like that opening song. And I mean, it looks like, it's in the 80s. I mean, it looks pretty 80s-ish or, maybe early 90s. But I don't know. The hairstyles and stuff still look pretty 80s. So, I mean, that would indicate even more. I mean, because obviously time has passed for him.
Well, I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. Steven's only, what, 12?
Something like that. But again, we don't even know, did he, like,
we don't
come
even
as
know
a baby or whatever. But, okay, you look at the father, though. I mean, he's balding, so years have passed. And so that looks about the amount of time, like present time.
Yeah, but I don't... But if he's 12, that means he... Well, how long did they know each other before they had Steven? Like,
I don't know, but here's the thing. Steven could be born at that age, or could be made at that age. I mean, because it's half Rose just kind of doing whatever she wants, so...
I don't know. It doesn't seem like they've established where chronologically this is. Like, I kind of just feel like.
Well, no, but the father
vaguely.
That's the thing. I mean, he's obviously not super old. He's balding and stuff, but he's not super old. So, I mean, the 80s. I mean, it seems like
I guess
either present time or like 10 years from something like that from present time.
I mean, here's the problem. I get a vague 80s feeling from the entire show.
Yeah.
So it's hard to be like, oh, well, that's the 80s and this is present. I mean, the whole thing has like a pan 80s, 70s kind of color scheme and character design and like so. And I don't know if it's really saying when and where this is supposed to take place. Like,
I mean,
maybe it said somewhere
true.
It's 2015 or I Met Your Mother in 1985. Like,
no, but you're kind of right. Like even the styles and the fashion, it's like it looks 80s, but you're right. That could be the 80s.
It looked very much to me
feels 80s
like
anyway. 80s and 70s, yeah.
Yeah, like literally probably like 1980 or 81, like still in that 70s kind of like it's got that old school vibe to all of the character like design and backgrounds and the
I mean, like kind of like the rock band, heavy metal and stuff like that. I mean, that was looking like mid 80s at least for him. So, but you're right. Everything else has like a 70s, 80s, kind of 90s feel to it.
They may have been going specific for the 80s, but I don't know if it.
You're right. They never specifically say because with this time period,
the
and the way
creators
it feels,
and the animators and the story writers may have been going for 80s because that's when they grew up. But I mean, I don't think it's ever specifically said. Now we're in the 80s.
Well, and we know wherever they're traveling, it's Earth. It's, because they say they never leave the galaxy or go anything, right? All those places are on Earth. Mm-hmm. So, either they're finding these places that for some reason are uncharted or something has happened to Earth, So that's what I'm curious about. But, yeah, there's, again, all these little clues and stuff like that to a puzzle I'm not smart enough to put together yet. But... yeah, I mean, I liked it. It's nice seeing more of Rose in it. It's nice seeing a little bit more of Steven's dad when he was younger and stuff. So
I got way more plot in this where Rose was concerned. Like,
yeah.
So I totally appreciate that.
It is interesting. You wonder why she showed up to that concert at all, since she was the only one.
They were on the beach. She may have just been standing outside, like on a cigarette break or something. Been like, the hell?
She's smoking a rose, smoking a flower or something. Well,
that looks like fun.
But wouldn't it be great? You have like Rose, just this really nice, beautiful design, and everything, and she sounds like this. Steven, you gotta be wonderful.
It's something out of The Critic. I'm up to 12 packs a day.
Yeah. Anything else you got?
No, actually, you pretty much covered everything. Thanks a lot.
Cool. Okay, you want to start the next one? You want to start it because you're always like, you stole everything. No. You stole everything. No. Why do I even have you?
No.
You are useless.
Wow.
Useless.
Well, I mean, if that's the way you feel, I won't show up for the next one.